Hello and welcome back. Fortune here once more again, and today I'm going to finally get around to doing the review of my figurized standard Kamen Rider Blade from Kamen Rider Blade, or technically speaking, Master Rider Blade, Kamen Rider Blade. TLDR, you know what I'm talking about when it comes to Kamen Rider, Master Riders. It's the same thing. But yeah, I think the last thing I did a video on Blade was basically the quick 20-second clip of basically the building him up from basically the head all the way to the full body. Overall, that was a pretty prompt build, I will say that. I really do enjoy building these figurized standard kits when I get around to doing them. But yeah, without further ado, let's dive right in with the review of Master Rider Blade from Kamen Rider Blade. So, along with Blade, we have Blade himself, which, after being built, really does look pretty nice. Which, not gonna lie, I think when it comes to like most of the Kamen Riders, I do like Blade's design more. Well, he is more designed after a knight, so the more armor and the silver actually does work well for him. If I do say so myself, I do love all the aspects for this. There's one thing I do love with the figurized standard is the build for this is really nice for this, giving you the detail that you want quality for this, which is really nice. There's some panel lining things I can do too for this too, which I might do later. But overall, without panel lining and stuff, it looks phenomenal. It looks beautiful right there for Blade. Along with basically Blade by himself, his Blade right next to him too for his roundhouse and everything else right there. Looking pretty nice, but you actually take off the holster. Just make sure Blade doesn't fall down, which it kind of wants to a little bit. Get the Blade right here. Now this is now you could switch this out from two versions of this between the short and long one, as we can go with the rest of the accessories right here. You have the short version and the long version, which you can attach onto this right here, which I'll probably do later when I kind of want to do the action pose with the effect, which right here we have the effect part for this when he places his blade down when he does the going for his famous attacks, which will show right here in the booklet that comes right here. Makes it right there where the effect part pretty goes, and basically all the poses you can do for Blade right here. A little bit right there, a little bit shows a little bit of basically who Blade is and what he uses. Got poses right here that you can put him into, which is pretty nice. You also have the extra stuff, which I was gonna mention. You have a different amount of manipulate hands, which you can put them right here. Do apologize for the camera not being shown. We also have all the cards for the roundhouses, which is the thing that you're going to do here. All this right here was a little bit painstakingly having to put these on stickers, which was a pain. Not gonna lie. Ooh. It took so long just to make sure all of these actually fit pretty well. Ooh, there we go. Now you can see how they all look. Really nice. These took so long just to do them and just put on there just to make sure the cards actually fit pretty well. Because you can actually have them with also as blank cards too, which on the sticker sheet actually still shows a little bit of that too. But what's it called? I was not going to have them with the blank cards. I was actually going to show them with the cards. Technically speaking, you also get the cards too, which are actually right here as well. I still have them in the little plastic thing as well for them. So I haven't gotten around like taking them out yet. If the camera says to ever focus. Oh, come on, you're almost there. But it's still focusing. Come on. Give 1 second, folks. There we go. I finally got the cards actually gone there. And basically, the same thing with Decade was his card set. Is the basically same the way these are processed. Basically, the cards, you can actually pop them out and basically have them right there. You have the back side of the cards too as well, full display, which I actually really do like. I really do like how they're able to print these super small. It actually looks pretty nice and pretty good into hand for Blade as well. Overall, looking pretty nice. And plus, besides the rest of the accessories, which I already showed, was the roundhouser right here, was the deck of cards. Right here, his belt's actually one of the things you can do for the gimmick on the belt too as well. You can actually flip the belt how it is in the show. Actually, let me show you here in the manual right here. You can actually flip it to basically have it between either showing the Beetle card or still being the Ace of Spades cards for that one. For this one right here. Plus that, we also have extra, extra materials that weren't used, or at least extra runners. Which I'm pretty sure these are extra joint parts too for either the arms or legs, or the feet, not the feet, for the joints for the legs. So, pretty sure some of these are for in case I want to use them for Decade. And then basically the runner, or in the stand, is still technically on this, which I didn't take this out because I kind of don't use these a lot. I kind of had these guys kind of lying around. I have a lot of these stands lying around. But I don't use them unless I really need to, unless I'm going to do pose for these guys. But overall, not that bad for this. It's still always good to have a stand. Basically, you can still use them for basically everybody else. And it does come with the adapter for the stand that you can put on the back side of Blade right here. They can attach them onto the stand. And basically, you basically attach them onto the stand and basically be able to pose, as you can see right here, like you see on the back of the manual right here for him. Overall, that's pretty much the amount of accessories. Not that much, but it's still pretty decent, good amount. Especially with the card designs and everything else, all looking pretty fine. Now to articulation. So starting off with the articulation, let's go with basically, once again, with full body mode. Just looking how he actually looks pretty nice. Overall, looks, like I said before, really, really phenomenal. I really do like Blade's design. The whole night aesthetic is probably one of my favorite things about that too. Especially since I bought this with my Castoria, was the 30-minute mission sisters Artoria caster. I call Castoria. And basically, have them side by side actually works well. Basically, almost being a knight to Castoria. But yeah, starting off with the head. As most SH figure standard, all of them have ball joints right here, and it does have the double neck peg right there on the bottom side too, so a little bit much more mobility, and they're able to pop off a little bit more to give you a little bit more range of movement. Like these guys are always on ball joints, which is the one good thing about this. Head is able to spin around 360 no problem at all, despite the fact that the collar is right there. Because of the double ball joint right there, you can actually lift them up a little more to give you a little bit more room to like do a little bit more poses on the neck, which is always pretty nice, which is what you want. Arms are in ball joints too. Able to spin around, no problem at all. Able to go all the way up there, the shoulder. The armor of the shoulder you can pose it, move it a little bit more. That way, it gives you a little bit more arm length to move the arm around like you want, which is what we want with most of our kids. And like I said, rotation on the arms. Double ball joint right there, which you can extend to give you a little bit more room. And then all the arms and the hands are taking on their own ball joint, so spin around, no problem at all, like you usually do for most of these kids. Which overall, really, really nice on the articulation for that one. Then on the torso, it does have its own ab joints, so basically bob and weave, which is what we want. Basically, torso, we even go to the torso to give it more range of movement, which we want, which actually is pretty nice. The one thing I like about these figure standards is that they really do give you a little bit more range of motion compared to some other figures, kind of like some of the other SH figure arts or some other figures too, like Dragon Stars or anything else, or basically any base figure like any of the Black Series figures, Legends, Marvel Legends stuff, DC toy line from McFarlane. Overall, not bad with posability. The holster can be moved around because it's kind of like the swivel ball joint right here. Well, it's a swivel joint right here. So they're actually able to move out of the way, which we want, because we're about to start in the legs. And we're going to see how far we can get him on the splits. And he's almost able to do it. So he's able to hold it pretty nice. Hey, that's actually not bad for able to go that far. I'm pretty sure if I can just adjust. I'm pretty sure if I can adjust the legs. There we go. That's what I got to do. I just had to adjust the legs. And now I can do splits. I just had to adjust the legs to basically move them a little bit up, which is one thing I like about these. The joints for the legs, for the ball joints, you can move them up and down. That way you can get these these movable for the joints right there. You can actually see how that's supposed to go right there on those peg joints right there, which is always really nice. I really am glad that Bandai modernized this, because the peg joints on the this is the thing when it comes to at least the older to newer. So the peg joints on the bottom work much more better for more movability instead of in the upper, or ball joints work better on the arms for more movability. Legs able to go all the way up, all the way back to the side. The butt sometimes does block it, so it does move to the side instead of it being a little bit more forward. What's it called? Legs able to bend all the way like that. It is on kind of like one of those weird knee joints right there, which is not bad. Just kind of a little bit more weird. I feel like this is a little more weird. Actually, not knowing it's not. It's a little bit more weird than I was on. Well, we're gonna check right now with the rest of my figure standard. Kamen Rider one's in a bit. Legs on its own ball joint, so it's able to move around. No problem. Roll, spin around, bob and weave like that. Overall, pretty nice on the articulation. It's pretty good articulation, if I do say so myself. Overall, really, really good. And it's what we want with our figure standard kits, especially ones for figures that are supposed to be moving around a lot, especially in heavy duty armor. Now let's go with some size comparison. Now here comes the size comparison. Right here is the entry grade Kamen Rider Blade next to Saber and Blade right next to each other. Then we have another figurized standard, but this one's Decade next to Decade. And from the Cade, we also have taking another model kit. This one's actually the Star Wars one. This is my custom Mandalorian right here. Who actually might be slightly a little bit taller than Blade, about just only about a little bit. And going from Blade, we have my white Dino Ranger. Right next to him right here was around the same size. These guys are like around 6-inch marks, or almost there. Then from the white Dino Ranger, we have my SH Figure Arts Neo Ichigo, or Mask Rider 1 Neo, which I should do a little design for this one. Going from him, we also have my Star Wars Black Series Captain Rex right here. Like, all these guys are almost around basically the regular same size, like around the 6-inch mark. Then from there, we also do have my Soto Chronicles Fies, who's a little bit much more shorter, half the size, like around 4.5, 5-inch mark. Then from Fies, we also have the other Soto Outsiders, Kamen Rider Black RX, who's a little bit much more smaller than Fies. This is the difference between when it comes to Soto Chronicles and Soto Outsiders. The Soto Outsiders being slightly smaller than the Chronicles. Then we do have also next to my Amiibo Samus Aran. Then from there, we also do have my Warhammer Joe Toy figures, which I'm still collecting more. We have my Salamander right next to him, so it's going to be a little bit much more smaller because a lot of the Joe Toy figures are a little bit much more smaller. Then we have also, because I'm about to do one too as well, my Legendary Godzilla, because it's actually right next to me right now. It's actually around the same size too. This is actually my only Legendary Godzilla right here. And then last but not least, the channel's mascot himself, my Gundam Estrella, who's actually still going to be small, regardless of the situation. And with that, folks, that is the review for the Mask Rider Blade from Kamen Rider Blade of the Figure Standard. Overall, a phenomenal kit, if I do say so myself. Good amount of accessories. The build was actually pretty nice and fun build to do. I really do love the style and aesthetic for Blade, the whole knight thing, like I said before. Really, really nice. I really am a whole fan of, like, basically the whole knightly armors when it comes to riders and stuff. Design really was phenomenal. When I first started into Kamen Rider, it wasn't one of my biggest favorite ones, but after watching the series and finishing it off, Blade became one of my more top favorite ones up there. So I really do appreciate the armor style too. I do love designs of basically the buckler, the roundhouse system, and everything else. The cards, the whole deck of cards system, and all that. Really, really nice. Really do love all the details this kit figure comes with. Overall, really, really nice. The accessories are pretty good amount. The different sizes for the swords. You have the roundhouse for the card deck, so you can see right there, which basically some round. You have the little effect accessory right there for basically ground pound when he does his final attack moves. Overall, pretty great. And yeah, if you do find this kit around somewhere, I do recommend picking it up, especially if you're a Kamen Rider fan and you're a fan of Blade. I do recommend this. It's a fun build. Overall, it will be also another good thing to add to your collection, especially if you're a Kamen Rider fan. If you like this video, please consider dropping like, share, subscribe. I always do appreciate, folks. And as always, have a nice day. Desire Powered Iron, signing out. And I'll see you guys on the next one, which actually might be in a little bit later because I'm going to be doing a little bit of a stream with my buddy, since I will say this, it is my birthday today. I am turning the big 3-0. What's it called? So if you guys want to go watch me and my guys play some, what's it called? Earth's Defense Force Iron Rain. I'm going to be doing a stream on Twitch. My thing, you'll see it in my little bit channel thing. If you want to go follow this, my buddies and I will play for a bit for my birthday. But yeah, thanks for everybody who does watch this video. And if you do come to the stream, just come and say hi. I really do appreciate it. And as always, take care, folks. Have a good night and take care. Pyro out.